Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the One Startup World 2023 Summer Conference. It is the premier global startup conference dedicated to helping innovative and disruptive startups succeed. It is the perfect platform for startup founders to pitch their ideas, gain valuable insights, and connect with other like-minded entrepreneurs, industry experts, potential investors, and partners, learning from the best in the business. Now, it is my great pleasure to introduce Michael Leeper, the founder and CEO of Odosolis. He will be discussing the aims and activities of his corporation. So, Michael, I hand over to you.
Thank you very much, James. What if we can add the additional power energy requirements by resurfacing the road using solar technology? The headache is solar panels do not make good roads. They require specialist installation, and long runs are inherently risky. That is why we are patenting a micro solar panel designed to replace the aggregate in the road, allowing for conventional road paving techniques, as well as distributing that power wirelessly through the road network. By doing this, we are generating power where it's needed, not at some distant solar farm or wind farm, but there by the home in the city where it's required. Also, we're adding to the power grid the additional energy required for things like the growing EV market. What we've chosen to do as the product is a bead-like design whereby we encase the solar cell in plastic cadmium that we intend to source from the oceans and landfills first, and then from the oil industry. Also, we're capturing the CO2 that we're using as a cooling component in this. The bead is embedded into the road network, distributed wirelessly, collected at the point at the substation for use in the homes and in our cities. If I can display our POC results, we're using conventional current off-the-shelf products to be able to display what it's busy doing. If you look at the multimeter on the screen itself, you'll see that there is a marked improvement just by linking two beads distributing wirelessly. Going through the rest of the view, what we're showing is that it is simple and an easy design with an easy solution. We intend to use a vertically integrated model whereby we manufacture the beads. Along with our partners, we install them into the road network, selling the power that is generated to reinvest into new roads and into more power. The reason we're doing this is that if we were to use every road in the United States right now, we could generate $2 trillion a year. Or if we just took the new roads intended for Texas between now and 2050, we'd be able to generate $50 billion a year. How do we get to those numbers? Well, this is a grid of 25 road lane miles in the city of Austin. That'll be able to generate 95 gigawatts a year at a cost estimate to install of 20 million, but produce $5 million a year thereafter. We are currently at our POC phase. We're going to develop a simulation engine, thereby refining our principles, testing our materials, improving our efficiencies, and also use it to model and map future roads in the business, culminating in the prototype manufacture we can send on for our regulatory requirements. Once we finish the simulation engine and the prototype phase, we're going into the pilot phase, whereby we will build the manufacturing process, source our raw materials from the ocean, capturing the carbon, joining onto the grid, and achieving our first revenues. Some of the future enhancements for the product is dynamic lane markings, emergency alerting for road incidents, and direct-to-vehicle charging, among others. From terms of traction, Blue Rock Construction has given us 15 lane miles in a new project that they're developing in 2026 that is estimated to generate over $100 million over 25 years. What differentiates us from our competition is the fact that we're using wireless technology and non-specialist installation processes against what everyone else is using. I am the founder and inventor at Odosolis. I have 15 years experience in software and product development. Johan Ungera is coming through as a strategic advisor with 20 plus years in the startup industry. And Kevin Landy has got 40 plus years in mining manufacturing, and he's coming across as our manufacturing advisor. What we're looking for is the $800,000 to build our simulation engine and produce our first prototype so we can go and design our manufacturing process. I'd like to change the way you think about how we generate power.
Well, Michael, this is a very interesting brief explanation. It looks fantastic. I would like to understand a little bit more how it works. Where do you actually install the solar panels? How does it produce energy? And how does it connect to the vehicles and other things? I'm not quite sure how that works. Could you explain a bit?
I most certainly can, James. Just give me a moment. So to reshare the screen again. So the beads replace the aggregate in the road itself. So where you see stones in the roadways, we replace that with the solar bead that is going into it. That way we didn't distribute the power from there wirelessly through across the grid at the correct collection plate. And that goes onto the grid energy itself that is linked directly to the home at the substation. In the future, because it's a wireless technology, we expect that vehicles will be able to connect to it purely on the wireless distribution. For the now, it will be connected to at the home.
And it brings a big benefit to driving, to supplying, and so on.
Correct.
Well, that's a very, very interesting system. I want to look into it more. And do you think there are competitors? You mentioned competitors offering the same thing. How are you better?
Yeah, one slide back. So our competitors are using solar panels in the roads and then install it on the surface of the roads. But as I've gone through in the beginning, the solar panels make bad roadways. They're noisy, they tend to crack, they do not run over long distances. So what makes us better is the fact that because we're embedding it into the road itself, and we're distributing that power wirelessly, that we differentiate ourselves from the competition, because now the road, the bead itself is part of the road and not something that overlays across the surface.
Right. Well, very interesting. And all I can do is wish you all the best with this new idea. I hope it takes off in a big way, and we'll be willing to provide you support as much as we can as this goes on, because it truly looks like a very innovative idea. So we thank you very much for your contribution.
Thank you, James.